Genius, a show all about you and your ideas. If you think you might be a genius, we can give you the chance to prove it. All you have to do is email us with your cleverest notion. We invite the people with the most potential to join us, and it's here that we work out once and for all who really is a genius. This is public service broadcasting, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to make Britain geniuser. But that's not the only public service we provide. Oh, no. I've read your emails, and I can tell you we're also keeping a lot of very stupid people busy. It may not take long to write an email, but whilst you're sending us ideas like alcoholic milk, garden carpets and making Norway smaller, at least you're not sat next to me on a bus. But don't worry, we have a selection of potential geniuses here tonight, ready to subject their ideas to public scrutiny. And to decide which of them are genius and which are not, we do, of course, have a genius guest. He's a comedian, a writer, an actor, a director, a man of letters, but, and this may come as a surprise to some of you, not a bon viveur. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the genius, Stewart Lee. Stewart, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. We know you're a genius, obviously.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Let's, put everyone's mind at rest, prove you're human. Have you had any, really least genius moments in life?
Yeah, my really great non-genius moment was about 16 years ago, when I'd been doing the comedy circuit for about 4 years, and I met Matt Lucas, who you remember, he went on to be in Little Britain, and if you heard of that. And he said to me he'd been offered a part in something on telly, but should he stay on at Bristol and finish his theatre degree? And I said he should, because showbiz was a very fickle thing, and it would be worth getting a qualification. But he didn't do that, and I think things have worked out all right for him.
You never know, it could all still go wrong.
Well, it could all still go wrong, and it's good that he could fall back into drama teaching.
OK, Stuart, you've got a very important job tonight. You're going to hear a number of ideas, and it is up to you, and you alone, to decide whether or not they're genius. But before we do that, can you do me a favour? Can you just have a quick look in camera one? OK. So smile if you could. OK. Thanks for that. Now, it will make sense at some point later this evening, I hope. So, let's get cracking with our first idea, which comes from Jill Broadgate, who is from Helmshire of Lancashire.
Dear genius, I would love to be able to swim to work. So instead of rubbish cycle lanes or bus lanes, we need swim lanes. You know it makes sense.
Short, sweet and to the point, Stuart. Can you imagine swimming to your gigs?
Well, where do you live, Jill?
I live in a very small village in Lancashire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live in London. When I cycle to work, right, round sort of Regent's Park, I see rats everywhere running around in the morning, and you want a swimming lane where people are at their most vulnerable.
No, they'll be enclosed in a polytunnel.
They're being enclosed in a polytunnel?
Yes, there'll be a separate swim lane at the side of the road, behind the bus lane and behind the cycle lane, away from the oncoming traffic.
Well, that's very good, but...
She's got you there.
It's more thought out than I was expecting. But even I'd still worry about it being contaminated by wildlife. Creatures are going to get in there. In the Thames now, there is an infestation of the Chinese mitten crab, which is not even an indigenous British animal. It's Chinese, it's in its name, the clue's in the name. They will be in your tunnels in seconds, the mitten crabs, right?
My worry with it is more that the road network is all interconnected. So presumably, the swimming lanes would have to be interconnected as well, otherwise you're just having to get out and get in again, and that's embarrassing in traffic. You don't want to be doing that. Then what you've done is a gift to terrorists. One drop of poison in one swimming lane, the whole network is infested. Even worse, a toaster. We're all gone. It sounds nice. When you first visualise it, I see a road, cycle lane, swimming lane, and then I suddenly remember I sometimes cycle from home to here, and I go up hills. And me on a bike is more able to go up a hill than water.
Yeah.
But we have a jet stream going up the hill, so it's throwing you along the current, and then on the downhill, you have a slide. So imagine that. You're undertaking cars on a slide, waving at the cars going past. They're all waiting.
I used to love swimming, but I won't go swimming now because I don't think people should have to look at me in trunks, right? And after breakfast, do you want to start the day looking at the average British person in a pair of swimming trunks? Probably not, you know.
Well,
there's
to
that
start
problem.
off with, but then we'll get fitter, so we'll all be better, trimmer-looking people.
You've thought this through, haven't you? You've really thought.
I've got something to try and help you out here, Joe. You're worried that people would have to see you in your trunks. Well, maybe that's not the case, because Thorin, our prop man, he decided that what this needed to stop people having to get out and get changed was workwear that is also swimwear. So that might be the solution. Now, he's not prepared to model it himself, but his lodger, Paul, is wearing it. Please, Paul, if you can please make yourself known. Here comes Paul. Now, you're working in an office, Stuart, let's say. You know. Now, no one has to see you in your trunks because you've got nice business shoes, which are also flippers. Give us a 360, Paul.
The good thing about that suit as well, you could swim in it, you could wear it to work, and you could also use it in part of your double life as a fetish pervert.
Yeah, absolutely. And Paul, the pièce de résistance, that's not a float. Oh, no. That is your portable laptop for the busy commuter who needs to work on the way. No, that works. Is that helping you, Stuart? You're now imagining yourself in that rather than in your trunks?
I am imagining it. I'm imagining wearing that. I'm imagining the whole system working on every single thing we've tried to throw in Jill's face to knock this back. She's battered it away confidently. And it does seem to be that the future of urban transport for the individual could be these swim lanes.
It's looking good, Jill. Yeah. Is there anything, Jill, that you feel you need to add to this idea before I ask Stuart for his verdict?
I just think swimming lanes, Olympic bid we've got coming up, just think we've had 2 gold medals, 2 silver medals, 2 bronze medals this time. We can beat that if we've got swimming lanes in this country.
But
I was for it until you mentioned the Olympics. Right. No, right, which are going to be rubbish, aren't they? Not genius.
OK, Stuart, let's hope our next idea has something nice and clear for you to get your teeth into. Let's find out. He is Simon Gray, and he's from Ickford in Buckinghamshire.
Dear Genius, my idea is humane, brilliant, ecological, and involves chickens. It's well known that happy chickens produce better eggs. But chickens are only truly happy if they live in fields, treading on buttercups and sitting on 5-bar gates. My idea is virtual reality headsets for chickens. With headsets firmly in place, they would be treated to a constant diet of sunny summer days, fence posts and meadow flowers. With deft programming, we could convince them that the cheap seed in the trough in front of them was actually premium corn, scattered by a pretty farm girl in a gingham dress.
This is wrong, Simon. It's wrong. It strikes at the very fundamental heart of what it means to be alive, and it is wrong, what you've said. And it's very disturbing. You've now got me worried that I'm a battery farm chicken in a virtual reality helmet, which, for some metatextual reason, has programmed in a scene whereby someone suggests a thing where chickens could be made to wear virtual reality helmets. It's like a kind of chicken version of The Matrix.
Can you just run through the first sentence of your idea again, just slowly?
My idea is humane.
Yeah, not so sure there.
Brilliant.
That's for him to decide.
Brilliant. Well, it's brilliant. Like the atomic bomb is brilliant.
Ecological.
I'm not seeing that bit.
And involves chickens.
I'll give you 1 out of 4. If it is just about making bigger eggs,
yes,
why don't you just battery farm ostriches?
Space. It's space, although the headsets would be easier.
Well, that is true. And the reason I know that's true is because we have made a virtual reality headset for a chicken. This is a first on British television, OK? It's just a bit of hush as I bring him out, because while the lid's down, he's quite docile, but when I lift the lid and the light floods in, he tends to sort of perk up a little bit, OK? So just nice and hush, OK? Oh, there he goes. This is a real chicken, OK? And I've got the virtual reality headset that he wears. Now, it's a bit tricky doing this one-handed, to be honest with you, but for some reason, that's how I want to do it.
Dave, what is so exciting for you about this image that you can't bring your right hand up from behind the desk?
You can't see what he's looking at the moment. He's no longer looking at this audience, obviously. What he is looking at is basically what you suggested, Simon. He's looking at a nice, pastoral, rural scene. I think we can feed it to the audience. Here's what he's looking at the moment. There you go. And that's basically your idea.
That's basically it, yes.
In reality, we had the girl in the gingham dress, everything, the whole thing.
Yeah, what was the last sentence of your proposal again, Simon?
With deaf programming, we could convince them that the cheap seed in the trough in front of them was actually premium corn scattered by a pretty farm girl in a gingham dress.
And do you think that the prettiness of the farm girl is of a consideration to the chicken?
I don't care about the chicken, it is to me.
It is to you, yeah. I mean, I'm just suggesting that not only is what you've proposed wrong, but there's also a terrible undercurrent of interspecial sexual lust in it.
What we really want to know is, what does a chicken most want to imagine? And so we've done... Thorin, the guy who made this whole contraption, he's been very clever. He's reverse-engineered this. It can now, as well as playing things through the eyes, it can read the optic nerves backwards, and it can take the dreams of this chicken, record them. This is what it was dreaming last night. Effectively, what this chicken dreams about is a romantic night out with Stewart Lee,
Yeah.
and that has got nothing to do with the blue card I held behind your head at the start of the show. That is just a coincidence.
Yeah, but what's more disturbing about that to me, Dave, is that it's not a chicken, is it? What it means is that your hand dreams of a romantic night out with me. Whilst dressed as a chicken.
Let's just put her to sleep, where she can dream of whichever celebrity she wishes to dream of.
Well, it's been thoroughly tested, this. I mean, what swung it for me is that it's the work of a Bond villain genius. It is an evil genius, so I think genius.
OK, we have time for a Speed Genius round. Now, basically, we get a lot of ideas at Genius HQ, and Team Genius doesn't really have time to analyse and file them as quickly as we'd like. So, seeing as we have a genius here with us, it'd be a shame not to at least run them by you. I'm going to put you on a 60-second clock, Stuart, and your time starts now. Simon Smith suggests painting funny faces on airbags to diffuse the tension that surrounds the scene of a car crash.
Genius.
OK. Mike Brown suggests the Scratch and Sniff airline sick bag impregnated with a small amount of vomit just to get you started. OK. David Mooney's idea is to have all the announcements in train stations, airports, shopping centres and post offices read by Brian Blessed.
No, because the problem with them already is they're too loud, and he would be... I'm not going to have that in.
OK. It's popular with the crowd, but not with you. No. So he's a genius, you're not. Christian Hickton's idea is Socks Reunited, a website dedicated to returning lost socks to their rightful owners.
Genius. The terrible thing about that is the socks will end up having affairs that had lain dormant for years. Marriages between socks will collapse.
Do you want to change your mind?
Yeah.
Or is it? OK, it goes for that. OK. John Bigger has come up with a scheme whereby the party that wins the general election rules the country during the day, but they let the other lot have a go at night.
Depends which one it is. I don't want David Cameron in charge of the darkness.
Go with not. And finally, Jill Stevens has an ingenious way to help eradicate world hunger by increasing food yields and diminishing water shortages through the simple application of... Oh, can't believe we're out of time on that one. It's such a shame. We didn't get our heads around the solving world hunger thing. Never mind, I think it would have worked as well. Yeah, probably would have. Anyway, our next idea comes from Anton Zimmerman, who has travelled from Salby in Leicestershire.
Dear Genius, for centuries obesity was not a problem because we had to hunt and gather our food. Obviously, people are not going to want to go back to our hunter-gatherer past. So, my genius idea is that all groceries should be delivered to our homes, but the delivery vans would not be allowed to stop. Instead, people would have to run alongside the van to retrieve their shopping.
I don't like your idea, Anton. It smacks of the ideas of one Adolf Hitler. I don't know if you're familiar with his theories.
No, people have said that to me, but the evolution of the idea is that to respond to the gathering part of the equation, that vans delivering healthy things like fruits and vegetables would park randomly around your neighbourhood, so you can walk at whatever pace you like.
It's not as simple as that. It's like when David Cameron said fat people should take responsibility for it, and it's their fault for eating the wrong things. And then all the Liberals came out and pointed out that the poor tend to eat worse diets because fatty food is cheaper and unhealthy food is cheaper. And it is them that you're targeting, and you are a crypto-fascist.
I'm not stopping anyone from eating fatty foods. I'm just making them work for them.
Clearly, you know, what's going to happen is rich fat people are going to pay poor thin people to hunt for them. Eamon Holmes isn't going to take your idea lying down, is he? Obviously.
You've made that. I think that there's so many opportunities for abuse of this system. You know.
As with all systems, this is true. But I like to think that people would buy into the spirit of the idea, in that we're not telling people not to eat unhealthy foods. We're just saying you're going to have to go that extra mile for them.
I think you just think it would be funny to see fat people running.
In fairness to Anton, it would be funny to see fat people running. I mean, you've got to give him that.
Yeah.
Traffic lights might pose a problem to you here. I mean, when the fatty food van stops at the red light, the whole community is going to ransack it.
But I mean, also, this is what I would say to Hitler if he was here proposing your idea, which I think could easily happen. I would ask him some of the same questions I'm asking you. And it would be, why draw the line here? Why are you saying, oh, you know, we'll mould society through withholding their food? Why not do the same with educational materials? Why not penalise the poor, which is what you're doing now, in the same way, by having, like, things drive around really slowly with copies of Heat magazine on them? But if you wanted to buy a Penguin Classic, you had to be able to catch up with a jet. You know, it's the kind of thing it's very suspicious.
But again, in fairness to Anton, there are mobile libraries already.
Yeah.
And they do tend to have worse reading material than static libraries, in my experience. They are aimed at poorer people.
Yeah, but also out in the countryside, there are mobile shops, right? So, out in Cornwall, a van comes with bread and baked beans on it and stuff. So he's basically taking an idea that already exists and bringing fascism into it.
Yeah.
Right? I like to think I'd be a benign dictator,
yeah,
if it's any consolation.
That's all right then, Anton.
Yeah.
Well, Anton's even the kind of name a fascist would have, isn't it?
Well, there's nothing remotely fascistic about Anton Zimmerman. I don't know what you're suggesting, Stuart. I really don't. But I'm going to try and bring you round to this idea. Come with me to the demonstration area, because I've got something that I think might work instead of the vans. I would have these in every place that sells food.
A running machine.
A running machine. And I think, if this is a supermarket, the customer gets on the running machine, and as you beep their items through, if it's burgers, it gets faster. Lettuce, it slows down. Now, instead of a supermarket here, this is the Genius Burger Emporium. OK? So I'll just apron up. Okay. And, you know, it's up to you what you want to order. I'm recommending, based on the props I've got under here, a burger. But it is entirely your choice.
So I just start like this, yeah?
Yeah. So, hello, sir. Are you looking for a quarter pounder?
I'll have a quarter pounder,
OK,
yeah,
then you do have to get a bit faster than that for the quarter pounder. OK. Would you like cheese on that, sir? You don't have to, but if... You're under no pressure.
Well, I'll just have the one piece.
Just the one piece? OK, a little bit faster then, please. Salad?
Can it be taken down if I have the salad?
Yes, it will,
yeah.
yes.
I'll have both the bits of salad.
You have both bits of salad. Then go down a bit. Now you've gone down a bit, do you feel tempted by that second piece of cheese?
Yeah, definitely.
OK, up again. Bearing in mind you've made that choice, do you want fries with this?
Yeah, go on then.
OK, the fries are yours. And would you like a drink, sir?
What have you got?
We've got Coke, Diet Coke.
Yeah. Okay. Or have you got Diet Pepsi?
Yeah, Diet Pepsi.
OK.
To be honest, it's a Genius own brand cola.
Oh, right, OK.
OK. I was sort of doing this, Anton, because I thought it might persuade him to the idea, but I think it's actually just going to kill a genius.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that, no.
In fact, I'm now getting a message in my ear from the producer. How fast are you going, Stewart?
7.5.
OK, we're not insured for that. You better stop.
OK.
No, genuinely, apparently we are breaking some health and safety regulations by you doing that.
Yeah,
so...
and by feeding me that.
You're all right.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, that was my attempt at bringing you round, and I think I might have made it worse, Anton. I was trying to bring him round, Anton, I really was. Should we find out whether I succeeded?
Yes, let's.
Stuart, this is the important part. Anton, with his grocery van hunting idea, a genius or not?
I just want to know where will it end, and I don't trust him. No, not genius. Fine.
OK, Stuart, let's see what you make of our final idea tonight. It comes from Dan Haythorne from North West London.
Dear genius, imagine hooking a piano keyboard up to a choir so that each key caused a different chorister to sing that note. Someone playing the keyboard would then be essentially playing a choir. I've never seen this done before, and I would really like to.
Have you got this show confused with Jim Will Fix It?
What gave you the idea?
I saw a choir singing once, and I thought...
You thought they had too much control over their own destiny?
I thought they could do better than that, really.
Yeah.
You know,
With this choir, a person in the choir, chorister is that note. So that's what they represent.
Each note would be assigned to a different chorister. So someone would be middle C, someone would be C sharp, etc. The length and breadth of the keyboard. And you press that key, it would prompt them to sing that note.
But it's not something an ordinary musician could ever own.
No, you couldn't have it at home, really, no. Not unless you happen to live with a choir of some sort.
We thought about doing it in the studio, and Thorin, our prop man, made an artist's impression of how he imagined it would look. He's imagining wires with lights from each key to the choir.
Yeah.
And we thought it was worthy of investigation, so we have had a piano rigged up to lots of little candle lights. So if we can bring that in, first of all. Ladies and gentlemen, here is our choir. They are usually the ACM Gospel Choir from Guildford, but tonight they are Dan Haythorne's piano choir from Genius. Welcome in. Now, just in case anyone thinks that this is just like a rehearsing and that this machine doesn't work, I think we're the perfect people to prove that this is real, OK? We can see we've got the white keys, the black keys, that correlate precisely with the white keys and the black keys on this piano. You don't mind if we do this, do you, Laurie?
No.
OK. After all, we built it. I think we should. Just hit anything you like at random, a kind of... What has he ever done to you? Well, I think you should maybe give it a go, Laurie. You're the man who knows.
Yeah. Any particular style?
I think we should go classical.
Something classical. OK.
OK, Dan, this was your idea. We're not going to let you have a go. All right, if you want to have a go, Dan, you are welcome to come and have a quick go. This is the only time you're ever going to get the opportunity in your life. Join us over here. But if you do Flight of the Bumblebee, we'll kill you. Dan, maybe you should return to the position. Well, we like... You see Stuart's already returned. Now, apart from making Dan's dream come true, is this idea, Dan Haythorne and his piano choir, genius or not?
I think it's only begun to realise its potential. It's genius. He cracked under pressure. Frankly, he was told he was a genius. He couldn't handle it. He stepped off the conveyor. He went, no, I can't go into that world of being a genius. I'll just stay here.
He should have walked back through the other door and made the I'm not a genius decision for himself. But it's too late now. It is actually a fact, because I put a tick on my card. Dan Haythorne is a genius. It's too late now.
There's a man who can do this, and he can't stand on a little conveyor belt. He would not be able to get a job as a piece of sushi.
Yeah, you got a point there.
I know.
OK. I say without fear of contradiction, it has been a mixed bag. You've seen a few ideas, but only one of them can be declared tonight's top genius and win the coveted Genius Trophy. Oh, yeah. Look at that. And don't go thinking that this is just any old trophy, by the way. Oh, no. If you extend the aerial, you'll find that this one has a range of up to 50 metres. I'll put that down now, no need to be extravagant. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think about it, but when the genius chime sounds, we are going to need a quick decision.
Okay.
Stuart, your time starts now. Stuart, is it Simon Gray and Virtual Reality Chickens, or is it Dan Haythorne and his piano choir? Stuart, your time is up. What's it to be?
Piano choir.
Genius or not, and of course to you for watching. If you think you might be a genius, do get in touch. You can find us online at the Genius website, www.bbc.co.uk/genius. And now, to play us out, it has to be the Genius Piano Choir with their rendition of For Elise. Good night.